Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our show. Tonight we have Roger's daughter, Maria, who is helping me
Hello.
co host the show tonight. And we are excited about the show because Roger's not here tonight and he can't interrupt me. So when I start talking about something. So what we are doing is we thought about it, we talked a little bit about it, and there's some questions folks have about what it looks like or what it might be like to um, know Roger when he's not, you know, doing readings. What's it like to be a wife of a psychic medium? What is maybe some questions that you might want to ask me as his wife. What has my experiences been like? And Maria, of course, is his
Mhm.
daughter. She's known him longer than me, actually, and has gone through his own, she's witnessed him. Have his own transition. Roger's at a different commitment tonight. He wasn't able to join or he wasn't able to do the show. So, but he wanted to keep it going, and he actually suggested that maybe one of the topics would be what's it like to be the wife of a psychic medium. And as you can, maybe I can answer any questions. I'll do as best I can to answer them, and have a we'll just start the topic. We'll just start the discussion. Please, for sure. Thank you, Herbie, for sharing the show already, and I hope that you all do that. It helps get our numbers up. It's not the
Yeah,
most important thing, but it's awesome when we have you share it. So, anyway, what would you like to say, Marie? I talked a lot right there.
I don't know. I'm just logging in on my computer here to see the if
Okay.
anyone's chatting with us right now.
Okay.
Uh,
And there's
anyone?
Mary Erickson and
There you go.
Kathy. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Mary Erickson. I'm so glad you liked and shared the show. Um, Yeah, it's kind of odd not to have Rogers sitting there and but
Right?
you know, he is he's the psychic medium. But anyway, what
Yeah.
we're just going to do is talk about things that maybe happened to you. Maybe you'd like to share, folks. I'm talking to the viewers. What you might like to share. Maybe Roger impacted you in a way, a big way or a small way. For me, I have many things that he has helped me through, but I don't want to just talk about my stuff. I would love to hear what you have to say. Maybe he's helped you. Maybe he directed you some way. I mean, it's up to you. I would just
Yeah.
like to have you guys share, and that would be
And we've
awesome.
witnessed him do many readings, many, many readings. So
Well, yeah, and the things that happened to me personally while I live with him is always a big surprise to me. I really I mean, I watch him, do reads for people, um, all the time, and I just kind of take it I hate to say it, but kind of take it for granted that the readings are gonna come through and they're gonna be accurate and they're gonna be right on.
right.
However, when it happens to me personally, it makes the hair stand up in the back of my neck. It makes me a cry. It's
Yeah.
it never stops. Um it's helped me in a significant way in my growth. I've watched him work with people for 6 years now online, and many of you guys have been with us for a really long time. I appreciate we
Hmm.
just love you all, and we love that you share it with your family and friends. And I mean, I don't mean to make this a testimonial, but it kind of is because even my family has seen an improvement in me personally, and I'm kind of old. Hey there, and there's Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. It's Roger's not here. He has another commitment, so he left it up to us, and we're just going to kind of talk about him. But we will talk about anything
Yeah.
you guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
He's not here, so let's talk about him.
That's right. Well, the mouse is away. Or well, the cat's away. The mice will play. So here we are
Exactly.
playing today.
Yeah. It. So Roger got his gift because he always says he had a near-death experience, and, he died and went to the other side.
Mhm.
Not only did he come back with the gift of being able to help people connect with their loved ones who have passed or anybody else, but it also, I feel, changed him personally. Would you agree
Yeah.
with Maria? I mean,
I
I'm just taking it from what he said, what you've said. W-
He's definitely grown in the last 20 years quite a bit. Like I said, he was always that stubborn old grumpy looking guy, just get off my lawn. But he he's softened, quite a bit over the years, especially the last, I don't know, few years or so. He's he's open. He's very open, very just, he'll take things in versus just instantly reacting, which he would do sometimes, especially when we've got all of our kids together. There's quite a few. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and I understand, it's stressful. It's stressful for me, but he's really, really eased up quite a bit. And just, he's always been easy for me to talk to. I haven't had a problem. But he's open, I think, to receiving conversation from other people as well.
Mhm.
And I know you've witnessed when we go out in public, he has that look and he just stops, and he's like observing everything. And you're like, all right, what's coming? What's gonna happen?
I say, "Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah,
I just want to have this whatever it is on my plate."
right.
And but he can't help that either. I
No.
and different psychic mediums have a different feel about that I've talked to. I mean, some psychic mediums tell their spirit family to please honor that they have this time with their family, but and I have asked Roger why he doesn't do that, and he said, "Well, because I've got this gift and I'm here and this person has a problem and I need to tell him." So
Right.
so there's that. So folks, hi.
Hmm.
Good to see you, Jonathan. Mimi, good to see you. If anybody wants to chime in with anything that took place with you and Roger, that would be great. Um, for example, for me, most recently, which made the hair stand on the back of my neck. Personally, I was working on a dress for my granddaughter that had been sewn by my mother-in-law long ago, 50 years ago. It's made out of lace and it was a difficult dress for her to make.
Hmm.
It's for dress up and many components to it. And as I was working on it, I was just admiring her handiwork. I mean, I couldn't believe the detail she put into behind, underneath the garment, right? The hem
Right.
took it with, I mean, and there's a lot of material to this dress. Hi, Julie. Good to see you. Hi there. So here I am, just kind of into the dress, looking and being in awe. And I ran in front of Roger because I had to go get something for maybe a different thread or something. He goes, "I smell cigarette smoke, and we don't smoke." And I
Hmm.
said, "Oh, okay." He goes, he knew I was working on the dress. He says, Is that you? Did you say that was your mother-in-law who did that dress?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Did she smoke?" I said, "Oh, she had a cigarette going in the living room and in the kitchen, and she was like buzzing around so she forget." He goes, "She's here. She's
Yeah.
here with you." And that made me cry. It made the hair stand on at the end, my neck. It's so wonderful to be visited
Right.
by
It is. And you
loved
never
ones.
know when. It's
And you
it's so random, and you don't
mhm.
know who's coming.
No, did has that happened to you too, Maria? Has he read for
Yeah.
you?
Well,
Yeah.
even not for me, if I've been in the room or like we've
Oh.
seen on some of the shows, it
Mhm.
just taps right into my head, and it has nothing people I wouldn't expect to hear from. Like last week, it would have been my great grandmother. It's you just never know who or when or what
Mhm.
they'll have to say, and I've been at readings for other people, and
With
he just
him
goes
giving the
completely
read.
opposite direction. Yep.
Yeah.
It's happened many, many times.
Hi, Christopher. Good to see you. I'm glad you popped in. Yeah, oh, and this is sweet. Good afternoon, Faye and Maria.
Aw,
Faye, I really appreciate you and Roger's daughter Maria for substituting today for Roger. I firmly believe that was a wonderful idea Roger had with y'all's perspectives. Thank you.
thank
Thank you,
you.
Christopher.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, we'll just go as long as you guys want to go along here. And there's no, and if you don't want to talk about what we're talking about, and if you have a question for Maria or for me, we're here to answer your questions. Actually,
yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Um,
We're here playing until he pops his head back in. So
yeah,
hopefully we can get away with the whole show without him
we're
popping
trying to
his
get
head in,
away.
huh?
We're trying to get away with it. We're trying to get away
Hmm.
with it. Um, so yeah, I mean, there was a, and so when I got back to when first met him, like now 7 years ago, maybe I had reconnected with him after 50 some years of having been in school with him, and then
Hmm.
later reconnecting with him. Uh, I had no idea that I was going to fall in love with the psychic medium. That was the farthest thing from my goal.
Right.
And the impact, I had to do a lot of searching on the internet. I'm going to tell you guys this. I really checked him out. I wanted to check him out. Even though I knew him, I hadn't known him for 50 years.
Right.
And I just wanted to know if what he was saying, was actually what he meant. That he was a musician, that he played with Flaco Jimenez, that he played with the Tornadoes, that he, because I was at the point in my life, which was later on, that I didn't want to deal with anybody's lies or, misconceptions or anything. I just
Yeah.
wanted to have a person that I could trust and talk and believe that person. And so yeah, Juliet, it was crazy reconnecting. I had no idea that would happen to me. I mean, so here's the other thing, another level. It's never too late to fall in love again.
Right.
You
Yeah,
think you're not going
absolutely.
to fall in love. I didn't ever think I was going to fall in love again. And what happened? I did, and I had no control over it really.
Right.
And
And everybody out there wondering when it's going to happen for them, you have to stop, just focus on yourself. It literally happens when you're not expecting it. The more
yes,
you push, you're going to find the wrong partner.
you
For sure.
are. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of frogs that showed up for me.
Yep,
And
exactly.
and I think it was because I was being a little desperate.
Hmm.
So the first thing is just take a break. And really, when that happens, if you are in this situation where you just, yeah, you, when you happen, heartbreak happens in life, right? I mean,
Yeah.
heartbreak. I hope it never happens to my kids. I never want that to happen, but it unfortunately happens from
Hmm.
time to time. Already has happened to them, and it's devastating. And then you kind of wonder maybe I'm speaking as a woman. I don't know what guys feel like, but um, you have no self confidence. You have, it's
Right.
stripped from you sometimes. And what you need is to take a step back, re uh, consider who you want and who you are, but really take your time. There's so much to learn about yourself.
Yeah, just let it happen naturally. That's the best, with everything. Just let it let it be. Just let it happen. Things work out the way they're supposed to.
Hmm. Never ever go into any decision in a desperate way.
No. Right.
Never make a decision while you're desperate.
Hmm.
I mean, that goes to choosing your partner, choosing
Choosing a job,
what did you say, dog?
even choosing a job.
A job, a house,
Yeah.
um,
Trust your gut.
whether or not you want to have children. I mean,
Hmm.
everything. I suggest everyone get a pet before they have kids, then they know whether they want to,
100%. Yeah.
um, so hi Denise, good to see you. Glad you joined us today.
Hello.
we have Maria tonight. This is, of course, I think most of you guys know Maria is Roger's daughter. Roger is off to another commitment, and he said, "Well, we could do the show," and we said, "Okay, let's
Okay.
do it. We're gonna tell all the dirty little secrets,
Mhm.
right?"
Yeah, we sure are.
Yeah. There's Ronnie. You're not late, Ronnie. You're just on time, so don't worry about it. And also, Polly's here. She's
Hello.
she says that her first date after decades was with a registered offender. So it's good to be patient and keep boundaries. Yes.
Right, right. And like ladies, I don't know how you feel, even guys. I There's nothing wrong with doing a background check on your partner. You know,
Hmm.
it is sometimes necessary, in this day and age, which is sad, but you have to do what you have to do to protect yourself and your family.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
I've investigated it as much as I could, your dad, because I
Hmm.
didn't know him for 50 years, you know?
Right,
E-
and that's a long time. He's essentially a stranger.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
That can happen, and a lot happened, a lot happened to me as an adult, not like I was murdered or anything really bad, but there was a lot of disappointments, and
Hmm.
I I didn't want to be I didn't want to be that girl again, you know. I just
Right.
wanted to be happy.
Yep.
So, um
Exactly.
yeah, so really suggest, if we're talking about love, I mean, we get that question too on the show a lot, don't we, Maria?
We
Who's
do, and I don't think my dad wants to. He doesn't like to touch on it because even if he does know, he's not going to tell anybody straight out. Well, he might say get out, but he's not
Yeah,
going to say, "Oh yeah, this is the one." And he just doesn't do that type of thing.
right.
If you're questioning your relationship, if you have doubts, that's your answer right there. You don't need a psychic to tell you that.
Exactly.
Trust your gut. You feel it, you
Exactly.
know. Mhm.
We are all psychics. We are all psychics and we all
Yeah.
have intuition. And I think one of the first books I read when I got out of my that last relationship 10 years before I saw your dad, so
Mhm.
I was divorced for 10 years before we got together, was that um really pay attention to how you feel and actually keep a bright
Yeah.
envision you have your brights on. You have your brights on that
Mhm.
person while he's speaking to you or she, and not to be like, an attorney or an investigator, but just kind of be aware and don't let your heart engage too
Right.
soon. Try not to.
Yeah.
Um,
You've got
and
to
always,
observe everything, because they should be doing the same with you. You guys could totally not vibe at all, and
mhm,
better to find all that out sooner rather than later.
exactly. There's
Yeah.
a lot to be. I mean, your life is everything. Finding a partner is life changing as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, it can make or break you. I mean, I know of an older lady right now about my age who is being manipulated all over the planet with this guy that she's going with.
Mhm.
And I thought, I say, how important is this relationship to you? And
Right.
do you think you need to be so invested in somebody who's manipulating you?
Right.
Um,
I'm wondering if it's the same person I'm thinking of that I recently told you got to know your worth.
it isn't, but that's
Okay.
okay. But
Okay.
isn't it a common theme?
It is. It really, really is. It's always there's always something, and if you're questioning it, you really don't need to. You have the answer.
You do have the answer. I mean,
Mhm.
here's Julia who has. Thank you for contributing to this, and thank you, folks. I don't know how we got on this subject, but we just did. Um, because I think it's important for people to just realize that they're so unique and they have so much to offer somebody who's the right person.
Right, right. You
Ju-
don't have to settle.
no, never settle.
Yeah.
And that's what I had done previously
Mhm.
myself.
Mhm.
Julia says, I was 10 years with a physically abusive narcissist. Yeah. I mean, and I think you were probably bamboozled by that guy.
Yeah,
He was
I'm sure.
probably giving you all kinds of love bombs. And you thought,
Mhm.
oh, that's a nice guy. And so there's also for both sides of the table, the guy or the woman, you know, they
Mhm.
can a narcissist can be a woman too. Um,
Absolutely.
give it time, you
Mhm.
know, or a lot of conversation, or take it, for me when I was doing the dating, what I uh before I said, "Oh, just forget it." But when I was dating, the online dating, when that my date was rude to a waitress or
Oh,
impatient
yeah.
or who would not tip well,
Yeah.
um, um, if it because you're always going out to dinner or something, right? You can really see that was one of
You
the
learn a lot about a
you,
person at a
you learn
restaurant.
how he relates to somebody else, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a instant disqualification right there.
Exactly. Went through a lot of dates that way. Mary
Yep,
says, I have found that it is better to find yourself and be happy by yourself before looking for a partner. Absolutely.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
You have to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, how do you know what you want?
Hmm.
And I know everyone says you have to love yourself and, before you can love someone else, which is true, but more than that, you really have to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you don't understand yourself, you're just you're going to create chaos. It's nothing's ever going to be settled.
Mm.
Just constantly trying to find things out. And if you are working, if you work on yourself beforehand, then you go in with that confidence, knowing what you want and what you need even.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of introspection to that. And thank you for the hearts,
Mhm.
people. I got one heart. If you like the show, please share the show. And maybe it is geared a little bit to relationships. I don't know. We also can,
We can talk about anything.
we want anything, and we honor any questions you have curiosity about um, Roger and what he sees, how it looks, some of the other things that kind of go on behind the scenes, him just living day to day. I don't even know if that's a curiosity to you, but I'm offering it up. He's not here, so we can talk about him. Okay,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
sure can.
okay. Um,
We can talk about any subject
Oh,
today, guys.
right, right. I mean, I will tell you, the things I'm telling you folks is just simply from my own introspection and my own experience.
Right.
And then also then working with you guys, with Roger.
Hmm.
And it's really cool. I mean, he doesn't like to talk about relationships or to predict if your soulmate's going to come in with the next 6 months. I say, I say, It don't put a ti I mean, you can put a time on it if you want,
Right.
but I say don't add any anxiety to it for it to happen, because then you might be likely to choose that person because you think that's it, you know?
Hmm.
It's very it's very the best. It's always the best if it comes as a total shock to you,
Yeah,
as it
that they really are the best relationships.
mhm,
The surprise alone.
mhm.
Yeah, and it just could be full of it.
Here we go. So Mary says, and also you find what you're not willing to accept or tolerate when you give yourself a
Absolutely.
chance. Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. I mean, I, there's a lot of talk about narcissists lately, right?
Hmm.
If I knew what a narcissist was when I was back at age 22, I wouldn't
Right.
have I wouldn't have any children.
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
know?
If
Uh
you knew everything back then, yeah, your life would be a whole lot different.
right. And I wouldn't have been going like this,
Yep.
trying to figure out where am I? Oh, I was
Yeah.
too long. I was gone too long. Oh, that was those other things, those other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And we have another person on. Hi, Linda. Good to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us. So,
Hello.
as you can see, we don't have Roger here tonight. He's doing something else
It's
because
ladies' night.
it's ladies' night. And we're talking about Roger, and we're talking about anything you guys want to talk about. If you want
Hmm.
to talk about scary things, we'll talk about scary things. If you want to
Yeah.
talk about um, something you've experienced personally on your own or something, or I mean, the sky's the limit, folks.
Mhm.
I'm not we're not limiting questions to anything in particular. Um, so we'll just keep talking until you have any more questions. I hope this is resonating with you. Thank you
Yeah.
for staying with us. Um, I think sometimes I feel bad for the people who do come in that are new on our shows and they say, um, "Do you think my husband is cheating on me?" Stuff like that.
Mhm.
I feel badly for folks who is my marriage going to last? I do. My heart goes out to them because I've been in that
Right.
spot
Yeah,
and
we've felt the pain before, and it's
we've
no,
been
you
through it.
never want anyone to feel that, and you can
No,
understand what. Yeah.
and I do want to help them.
Mhm.
H However, talking to a psychic medium about it is is really, um, it maybe comes out when a psychic medium is in front of you and you're having a one-to-one conversation with them, definitely stuff like that will come out. Roger
Right.
will be having a reading with somebody and something about a family member or maybe even a husband. It
Mhm.
might come out or he'll say, "Are you okay with your I mean, I don't know what he says, but he'll see it. And
Yeah.
on a
And the
one-on
one-on-ones are more personal. You know,
right.
I've seen that many times. Even a group of just a few people is going to
Mhm.
be more
Mhm.
personal.
Yeah, he doesn't wanna really help you, air out your laundry on the show. He'd rather have it a little more private so that you can talk freely. So,
Mhm.
and something like that is really a big deal because they might be suffering, they might be in heartbreak, they may be confused. Like I understand people are confused when they're going through that stuff.
Right.
Uh, so if a person is having I mean, it's for sure and I'm not trying to drum up business right now. I'm just saying if you want to talk to Roger on a one-on-one and there's things that are in your life that are a little crazy, absolutely you can do that.
Mhm.
But on the shows we stay away from it and my only role in those situations is if you're asking this question, then there's something that is off
Yeah.
because your intuition is telling you it's off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
you say that every time, every single time.
mhm.
And it's,
I mean, you can
it is the
feel it.
truth.
I
Yeah.
mean, I felt it with my marriage. I knew that there's something up in my heart, but
Mhm.
when I asked that question directly, is everything okay? Well, I'm married to you, aren't I? Well, what kind of
Yeah.
answer is that? There is
Yeah.
not. That's not an
There's
answer.
nothing behind that answer.
There's
There's
not. No,
absolutely nothing. Yeah.
no, and and your suspicions, then you say, I don't want to be labeled as a neurotic
Right.
jealous person, but you think,
Yeah.
am I jealous? Am I thinking things that are not there? Probably
And that's
not.
gaslighting though too. That's a lot of
Yes.
people, if
Yes.
you keep thinking like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Am I imagining this and that?
Yes.
That's purposeful, not on your end. They are purposely making you think you are crazy.
Good
You know.
point.
Yeah.
That is a
And it's if you
yes.
have to keep questioning, am I crazy? Am I crazy? It's not you. It's them. You
And
know.
then if they start saying, yeah, I think you are a little crazy, that's
Yep.
not then you go,
Correct.
okay.
Yep. Then right there, yeah. You're gonna call me crazy too? All right, well then I already know what's happening.
Right, right.
Hmm.
I mean, and so then in my case, I had children, and I thought, oh, my poor little children, they're going to be without a dad and stuff. But here's the deal. Do you want your girls and your son to see a mom that doesn't have any gumption or
Right.
that doesn't have any pushback? They may not understand at that point,
Hmm.
but they will see mom or dad, if this is
Right.
happening to dad, who's being authentic. And you don't have to be screaming, but you can say, I think I can't sustain this any longer. Something you can be just neutral. And you
Right.
say,
And
this is
you have to think about it as a parent too. Would you want your own child to accept that
no,
behavior of their partner? And
no.
if you answer no to that, then that should be your own answer because You know, you
right,
deserve the same
right,
treatment that you would want your children to have.
right, and that's a great perspective to put it in, Maria.
Yeah.
If a person has children and they are thinking that, "Okay, am I crazy? Is this happening?" What does that person's parents how heartbreaking is that person's adult person's parents thinking that they're watching their daughter or son go through this
Right.
heartbreak and, are heartbroken because she's or he's having this problem with their spouse
Hmm.
or partner and not doing anything about it,
Right.
you
And
know?
if that's all children see in the home is fighting and accepting less than or whatever, if that's all they see, that's all they know to be acceptable. And
Exactly.
that is all they're going to search for when they grow up
Yes.
for relationships. They're going to search for that drama because they don't know any better. They
Right.
need it. They
They
need it
do.
to feel, content, quite frankly. That's what they've
Right.
grown up in. So that's how they
Right.
need to live.
So I was married too long to that person,
Hmm.
because I didn't know that person was a narcissist because
Right.
there was no labels then when I was a young woman, young married woman.
Well, and
And
chances are it was probably your fault back in the day anyway,
you're
even
right.
if there was a label for him.
Right. Um,
Yeah.
and so, the kids did have to go through some stuff like, bad relationships and, my as adult kids. So, I mean,
Hmm.
it is a study. It is complicated. I just highly, highly recommend everyone trust your intuition. We're all
Hmm.
psychics. As Roger and Paul Francis
Yeah.
says, I believe so too now. I mean, we are all psychics. We may
It's
not all be
all in us. Hmm.
we can identify it. Our children can identify it. If they don't like what's going on, they know. They know
Yes.
why. They may not
Yeah.
be able to um express what it is, but they know in their heart there's something wrong.
Pay attention to kids and pets. They do not lie.
So Linda says that is so true, Faye, but I found my children see their father for who and what he is without me yeah, and
Yep.
and I agree. There's no bad mouthing. Even when you have that relationship, scotch tape your lips, do
Correct.
whatever you can. It doesn't serve anybody to talk smack about that other person once, things start to roll. I mean, there's
And
that
they'll
too.
grow up and make their own
Mhm,
decisions, as I have, about what actually happened. And
mhm.
the parental drama has nothing to do with the kids because they didn't ask to be born. You guys
Exactly.
made that happen,
Right.
and they don't have to pick sides because they love each other, love both of them,
Right.
probably, for the most part. Don't make them choose.
Yeah, no, don't ever make them choose. I
Yeah,
mean, right. I mean, and that's not in yeah. So I mean, we're talking a little bit. We gotta. It's an interesting subject to me because I have been working through this one for a long, long time.
right.
And I also, uh, yeah, as I said, feel um, I understand why people ask the questions they do when they come on board here and ask, Roger, is everything okay?
Yeah,
Um, I understand their dilemma. Ronnie says, I wish I would have known all this in my first marriage. I would have left with the kids when they were young. I didn't listen to my intuition. Yeah,
right.
right. I mean, there's places to go. There are safe places to go. We were talking about that one weekend, weren't we,
Yeah,
Maria?
yeah.
There are places that take in mothers and children
There's
until the
plenty of resources out there now, and there are ways, and I understand, like back in the day, yeah, you essentially were stuck, depending on what era you were married in,
mm,
or grew up in. The kids couldn't do anything about it either. You
mm,
can't talk about that stuff at school, and half the time there was nobody at a school to listen. Now
right,
they do have counselors and that, but I remember going to school, there was one counselor for the whole school,
right,
but any school I went to. So
right.
there's more resources out there now, way more help.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to say hello to people. I haven't forgotten, but I wasn't able to. Hi, Pamela. Good to see you. I hope you're enjoying the discussion. If you want to talk about something else, ask the question, everybody.
Yeah.
Herbie says, when my son's mother and I separated, we took it upon ourselves to be civil to each other
Yes.
because of our son and her other two children, so much that we even bowled on the same team and remained friends. And good for you.
That's
Hats off
cool.
to you. Yeah, that's so cool. Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. More and more
So
people are figuring out that co-parenting relationship nowadays, and I think it's great. But there's some people that are just so petty and hung up on their own self-esteem, really, and their egos, and they can't let things go.
now I'm a grandparent, and that one person can't be in the same we share a grandchild, and that person can't be in the same room with me
Right.
because of what he did. And
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. He can be in anywhere he wants to be. He could be sitting over there, and I wouldn't care. You
Yeah.
know, it's it's too bad, really, because it's hard on the kids, and
It is.
I can't change that either, but I can change me. I can
Hmm.
keep myself together, and the kids are going to figure it out. So are the grandkids.
Yeah. You don't have to tell your kids anything. They're
No,
If you raise them right, they'll be smart enough to make their own decisions and not be
there's
stuck with blinders on.
they're smart. They're so smart. All children are so smart. They
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
And maybe they're heartbroken for a while too when this happens. And that's the sad part.
Right.
But
Very understandable.
as when they become adults, if we all live long enough, and that was always my prayer, I wanted to make sure that my kids and I would live long enough when they would understand. And they have since said they get it. And
Yep.
that's that. Well, we're not talking about Roger. We're talking about me. I don't want to be.
Hmm.
No, we're talking about all of that. And I always want to talk about what I know, and I feel I know that, and I
Right.
know about Roger, and Maria does too. So, but if
Yeah.
anybody else wants to say anything, that would be great too. But um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it, so and here we go. If you've just joined us, Roger's at a different at a commitment. He wanted the show to go on, so we said yes. We'll be happy to uh, continue the show. And that
Hmm.
gives us a chance to, if you have any questions about what's going on with Roger when he isn't on the show, you can ask.
Yeah, and we've
Absolutely.
been posting little, short little videos of him playing on Sundays lately. So I think I
Yeah,
have a few more to add to the profile. Maybe later on tonight I can get those added too.
that'd be
So
great.
get a little insight into him when he's not sitting behind his desk.
Yeah, he's a musician too, and it's kind of fun to watch him play because, well, it's very fun to watch him play because he plays a guitar, folks, and when he does play, he really does not he doesn't read a note, folks.
No.
He just knows the chords, and that's different than, the classic piano learning like I had. And I think what he knows is a lot more freeing and liberal and liberating than learning it in the classic way. But even so, his he knows, he can anticipate, even if he's a new song is being
Hmm.
brought up, he picks it up and he'll anticipate what
The
the
next.
next thing is going to
Yep.
be.
Yeah.
And in fact, there's one song. It's by Johnny Cash. It's Hurt. That one that
Hmm.
Billy sings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the Johnny Cash version, there's no. It's a really plain kind of accompaniment. There's no
Hmm.
real a lot of accompaniment, and so Roger hadn't heard it before, but Billy decided to just do it. And so Roger goes and he's learning, and he's doing his little trills and stuff. And Billy says, "Damn, I love that. I love what you put back there. That's not in the
Mhm.
original album, but that's keep it up. So it's
Yeah,
like, it's like a little I don't know what it is. I am amazed sometimes when I
I
see it.
love when they play that song too. It's so cool the way everything comes together.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish everybody could come and watch him. It's really kind of fun, and the band actually.
Mhm.
It is they're a band of band brothers of many years. They've been playing together, some in different bands, some together on this band. I mean, as musicians, they seem to travel around in different bands, but they come together. They've played together for 50
Yeah.
some years, and you can tell. Yeah,
And they have a lot of other people show up too. Like I think I've been there before when they've got 9 people playing together,
right,
which is pretty
right.
cool for a tiny little spot.
I know. I know the
Yeah.
venue is is really funny, and it's not a it is not a it's not a tribute to the band as far as I'm concerned. I
Mhm.
feel like they deserve um in they should be in what shall not a saloon. What's it called?
Well, they should have a larger venue for sure. I know
Let's
that.
just say larger venue. I
Yeah.
think they should be because it's crazy what they do.
Yeah. No, it is. It's really cool.
I
Last week
mean,
we had a ton of people there.
yeah, Mary says he feels the music instead of just hearing it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. He really does. And I noticed that last week and this week actually, he's really, really getting into it. Just his eyes closed, playing the guitar and everything. He was really, really feeling it. It was pretty cool.
Hmm. So what he plays is a lot of anything between keep me straight, Maria, 80s to 90s basically, and then sometimes and country and blues
Way before that, I feel like.
in 60s, yeah. Tonight
Yeah.
he's well, this Friday he's going to be playing with the band around this location and they play 60s rock and roll
Okay. Okay.
and they stick with that genre and he
Hmm.
and so it'll be kind of fun to see that too.
Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. Huh.
So, I don't know. Do you have a question for the viewers? I mean, I kind of, I'm going to kind of I'm going to contribute something actually, and it goes back
Okay.
to when Roger and I first got together, and we were, um, when he was playing at these different venues, playing as a musician, our classmates came to watch him from time to time. And there was one guy who came in that was just the nicest guy, and he said, so Roger's a psychic medium, huh?" And I said, "Yeah, he's a psychic medium." And he goes, "Well, that's just blasphemous. That's the devil's work." And that was my first time I got that,
Yeah.
from somebody that I liked, not
Mm.
but had in my classes, and I, thought he was a nice guy and stuff. And I still think he's a nice guy. But I said, he's Christian. I mean, this is his this is his background. Roger is a Christian. That
Mhm.
happens. Not everybody is who are psychic mediums, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But that's where he gets his strength. And there's a whole lot more in the Bible than that. I'll call him Tom. And and we never saw him again.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm going to defend my husband, and I know that this guy is just truly just nitpicking out of, that the Bible that
Mhm.
I'm very familiar with, by the way,
Right.
and there's more to it than that.
Mhm.
Um, and so I'm going to answer a question. Becker, Becker, Becky
Thinker
Baker.
Becky. Thinker Becky. Okay. She's a
Sorry,
tongue twister.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. Yes, he's going to be playing soon in the VFW. There's a couple of gigs happening with Trigger Happy, and we'll let you know. So this week, the Friday's going to be a private party apparently, but we will let you know, Becky, okay? Sorry. You're so nice. She's laughing at me.
She's
Good.
laughing. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's see.
so
Yeah.
Tina's asking, where does Roger play? Is it posted anywhere on Facebook? Tina, right now he's playing at the American Legion on Sundays between 6:30 and 9:30 with the band Titus Can Be, and it's the American Legion on Arcade in
Arcade Street
St.
in
Paul.
St. Paul. Mm-hmm.
In St. Paul.
At yep, 6:30 on Sunday.
Yeah, it's every Sunday, and I mean, it's wild. The
Mm-hmm.
the and it depends on who shows up. Like you
Right.
say, Maria, there are different musicians who like to come in and just jam with them because
Mm-hmm.
they know they're going to pick it up. And
Yeah. And it's so cool when it happens, and just so many different instruments too.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got a drummer, we've got, of course, the guitars, we've got the bass, we've got keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a saxophone. One guy plays a keyboard and saxophone, and another instrument, which I don't know what it
I
is, but
don't know either.
it is, it is,
It's portable.
it's portable and it looks like a clarinet, but it is like an
Got a lot
instrument
of sound.
that has a lot of sounds, including
Yeah.
an organ. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like an organ, and I mean, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and yeah, Linda, she said that she saw Terry Ferguson there last Sunday, so Linda was with
Oh,
us too.
and maybe I don't know if I met Linda yet, and maybe.
We have to come and say hi and
Yeah.
poke your face in our faces, okay? Um, it's great to have you guys come around. It's like I hope you agree, Linda, that that's what happens there. So he's a musician, he's a psychic medium, and it's crazy how it all works together.
Hmm.
And maybe that's how his mind works. I don't know.
And I've
And
never seen him stop when he's playing to read anybody. I haven't seen that yet.
he does put the spirit on hold then.
Mm,
He says that here's a little secret about Roger, when he's performing on a stage as a musician, because the spirits kind of follow people around out there, he says. He'll
hmm.
see things that, are like attachments or just spirit.
Yeah.
But that's why he maybe closes his eyes sometimes, I think, or
Yeah.
just really
Yeah. He
gets
does
into
quite a
the
bit.
music because that's what
Hmm.
he wants to do. Oh, oh, you saw the videos. Okay, Linda.
Oh, okay.
Good.
All right.
Cool.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, Ronnie just says, does spirit bother Roger when he's playing? Because they need to talk with somebody. Um, I think he 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 tries to keep them back, and then he lets them come forward
Hmm.
because he did. That's happened when he takes breaks, and if they show up, he will talk to the person. He will talk to the person if something comes up. Yeah, he doesn't ever stop it. Tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a good question, Ramona. Um, so yeah, I mean, I had to defend Roger way back when with a classmate, and I think, and I also had to defend on the devil's work with um a relative,
Hmm.
and they're me. I think they mean well. I'm not sure, but they're real preachy about it, and
Right.
they then and she even posted the passage from the Bible where it talks about on Facebook. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
You know, I've noticed that of some of my own relatives as well.
Mhm.
And it's funny to me because I believe they also have the gift in them.
Mm,
Which that's fine. You know,
mm,
they can ignore it. That's totally okay. But
mm.
I just find it funny
Well,
that.
and I feel a little, and in that person, with the person that I am thinking about, I feel a little bad for her
Hmm.
because she's uh there's so much in the, I mean, I come from a Protestant background. There's so much in the Bible that supports psychic mediums, and
Right.
even in the case of uh, the Pope has put out what's it called, an edict or something to
Hmm.
all of his priests to um, embrace the fact embrace the fact that there are many people with many gifts,
Hmm.
including, and I'm paraphrasing, I cannot quote it, but it was a letter to his priests to stop the nonsense about the psychic mediums not having a gift like that, because there are gifts, many gifts.
Right.
People have the gift of teaching, or playing a musical instrument, or being a genius with math, or being an architect. I mean, so why wouldn't uh, the gift of being able to see things to help people be something you would respect?
Right. Right.
And so that's and Kathy says we all have the gift in us. We
We do. We
probably,
really,
and we
really
do,
do.
I agree.
It just
And
depends on how how you focus it or
mhm,
how you use it even.
yes, we have some kind of gift, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Um, I agree, Kathy. And there's
Yeah.
Carol. Good to see you.
Hi. Well,
Um,
and look at those shows we've been watching too, about life after death and things like that. Like
oh yeah,
these people die and they see God, and they come back for a reason and they come back with a gift. So, you wouldn't see God for no reason, and God
right.
gave the gift, I believe.
And they came back
Yeah.
changed people.
Yeah. Which is
And
really great watching some of their stories that we've been
mhm,
watching. Yeah.
and that's the case of your dad,
Hmm.
because you saw the change in him between
Yeah.
the when you were a youngster to an adult. And
Right.
he talks about the change in him after that incredible dying and going
Hmm.
to the other side, feeling all that love, and
Yeah.
feeling, nobody preached to him about it. He felt it, he saw it. Instantly, he was changed.
Hmm.
And I think that's called a miracle.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I think that is called a miracle. And I think what he does every show is a miracle.
Yeah.
And
And he really did change. He changed
yeah.
a whole lot. He was
And
50
sometimes
years old.
he sometimes says, "Why do I have the gift? Why do I have this gift? Why me?" And I said, "Well, I'm not sure I'm correct, but I'm going to give you my thing. Because you were such a jackass before you died and went to the other
Hmm.
side, perhaps.
Yeah.
You were a womanizer, you were maybe a drunk,
Hmm.
and maybe, you're a rock and roller, you were living the rock and roll style of somebody
Right.
who could care less, but zaps, you were not it wasn't a punishment. I don't believe that
No.
was a punishment. I believe it was, maybe he was used as an example of a miraculous thing.
I
And
think he was given a second chance at life, and now you need to work. You have to work for the second chance at life. You've got something, and you've got something you need to do. So you're going to go back and do what
mhm,
needs to be done, and maybe
mhm.
there's a greater mission for the rest of his life. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but I think, you've got a second chance to go change your life and maybe help someone else in the process. And I
Mhm.
believe that's what happened.
Yeah. Here's Polly. Polly says, if psychics were bad, then as a woman of faith, why would I be gifted?
Right,
It is a gift from God, meant to
right,
be used for good. Totally
exactly.
agree.
Hmm.
I totally agree with you, Polly.
And
Some of the,
everybody says the same thing. It is,
yeah.
it's a gift. It is a gift. It might seem like a curse at times, but I think the people that have the gift, they're given it because they can handle it. They're okay and they will know what to do with it.
Well, you have a gift too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your gift. Do you want to
Well,
talk about a little bit about that?
I don't really know exactly what my gift is completely yet, but I have a very strong, strong sense of knowing things. I just know that yes, this is right or no, this is not, and it comes out later that yeah, you were correct on that. It's just a real, and it's not. I don't feel it's just intuition either because it's like someone else telling me like yes, no, or I don't know if everybody has a little inner monologue type voice in their head, but I it's more than just a warning. I hear things and I know things, but then like some of the visions I've seen happen at night, When I close my eyes, usually when I first lay down, I see things that scare me.
Mhm.
And I tell my dad about what they are.
Mhm.
I don't know what they are, and I don't know
Mhm.
if or when these things will happen.
Mhm.
But I know what I see, and I know what I hear, and I know what I feel.
Mhm. Well, I mean, do you feel that when you go into a room, you can feel the room?
Hmm.
And
Everybody in it, I can feel the energy in the room first of all, but each person's energy, and I do feel maybe an energy or something near them, by them, and additional energy. But do I see that? No, as a form, no. I do see different flashes or shapes,
oh, you do?
figures. Yeah,
Okay.
I do see that
Mhm.
quite a bit. It just more at other people's houses. My own house, I do see some things, but there's some places I feel are more active than others. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, things don't come to me either. I mean, I'm so busy with keeping
Keeping track of my dad, I know.
yeah, I mean, not really track, but keeping him okay.
Right.
I mean, he'll tell me about things that he sees and some of the visions he has that he shares with you guys here on our shows. When they do come out, I honestly, folks, I go, oh please, just oh please, don't say it.
Right,
But
right.
that's me. That's me. It's
Yeah.
not him. He is committed to share with whatever it is that he is seeing. And it may not be tomorrow. It may be not be next year,
Hmm.
may not be 5 years from now, may not be 10 years from now, but it will take place.
Yeah, and it does. It does happen. And I'm thankful he doesn't know when some of these things will take place. Same with me.
Yeah,
I'm thankful that I don't know, but I do know I see disasters, quite frankly, like he
sure.
does. I see the disasters.
And so that's always the my being kind of upset about the gift. Can I say that? Why
Yeah,
it's like why are you being given these visions when we really can't do anything about it?
yeah.
Um,
And you can't, you don't, even even if you could, I mean, really, how could you? A natural disaster you can't stop. There's so many things you
mm,
can't necessarily stop. So
mm,
dwelling on it doesn't help. And I know he
no,
does. He dwells on some things too much. And I know he wishes he knew when and where and exactly what and to help people, but he's not given that information.
no,
And I think it would probably drive him crazier if he had that information and nothing could stop it.
no. And I think what I take from those visions that he has, that we are all on this earth right now as this experience
Hmm.
for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to know that these things can happen tomorrow or
Hmm.
today,
Yeah.
and that we are to make the best of this life right now. And
Yeah.
that's why we talk about love is life and life is love. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's all love. And like you were mentioning before, these folks who had also experienced after death experiences, that they came back with a feeling of love, that complete,
They didn't want to
incredible love.
leave that feeling of love, and they were
No.
forced to leave that feeling of love, and they didn't like that they had to leave it, but they knew
Hmm.
that that's what they have to look forward to in the future.
Right.
All that love.
All that love. And
Hmm.
and so that's what I've got. I mean, that's what I bring, that's what we have on the shows every week. I mean,
Yeah.
he's he is that guy, and he does practice what he preaches. I did want to tell everybody that he really does work on his own spirituality.
Hmm.
He has his own mode of doing that. And every psychic medium has his own ideology.
Right.
And whatever that ideology is, that's have an ideology. Please have one,
Right.
but always respect the ideology of another person's psychic medium's beliefs, because they have that's how they maybe were raised. They see things with that with that perspective, it makes it real for them.
Mhm.
Um, and so, I mean, Roger and I don't have the same background in our faith, but I totally respect his and he respects mine.
Right.
And that's all we can really hope for, you know. Psychic mediums are, you know, we have people who been to the Buddhist beliefs. Some pick up both Christian and Buddhist. Some people totally don't do that. They're, I mean, it's as many people as there are on this earth. There are different people, different
There's
psychic
different
mediums with different.
ideologies too for each,
Mhm.
you know, there's and
Mhm.
it's okay, you know, no
Mhm.
what I believe is not what my dad believes or what you believe. You know, it's not
Mhm.
we don't all believe everything the same, but
No.
we all have the same general theories about things.
Well, and it all ends up being kind of the same thing.
Exactly. When you get down to it,
When you
yeah.
really get down to it, I
Mhm.
continually see that we're really all talking about the same thing. And I wish that
Yeah.
people around the world and globe could figure that out because we'd have a couple of wars that weren't taking place
Yeah.
if, or at least one, um, if we would just be able to not, you know, fault people for feeling differently about things,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
we're,
That's okay.
we're yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, thanks for agreeing with me, Julie. Julia, I'm not sure which what you were, but maybe it's the ideology. Everybody needs to just take a chill pill and just let it happen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
mhm,
And really like even driving. So I haven't been driving much. I think I've driven now 3 times in the last month because of my surgery, but on the roads I'm like, where are you guys in such a rush to get to, you know? And I catch you 2 stoplights later. It's are you
mhm,
in a rush to die because that's what's going to happen or to kill somebody else? Just calm down. We're all going to get
mhm,
there. In
mhm.
the end, we end up at the same place. So, you know,
We do.
yeah, just calm down, relax.
I love Kathy's put here. Kathy said all religions and beliefs are based on the same rules of life. I know.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know. And and I can speak of my own background, of being raised the way I was. The thing that made me spin off from the traditional um teachings, but still, still having that in my heart, but not the preaching. Some of the preachings were quite judgmental and limiting in thought.
Right.
And always, if it's fear based, I get real upset. And I started to recognize the fear based preaching
Hmm.
from the pulpits at a very young age. And I just said, this isn't for me. I don't
Right.
know where I'm going to go, but this isn't for me. So,
And
um,
that's kind of how I felt too. And I wasn't raised with my dad, and I was baptized Lutheran, but
mhm,
we lived way, way out in the country, and there was, well, I should say it was still city, but it was far away from everything.
mhm,
And we found a bus that would bring us to church. So I actually went to a Baptist church growing up for a
mhm,
while. But
mhm.
no, I didn't. I never agreed with it fear based either. You know, it's
And well, and it didn't even mean to be, I don't mean to be talking smack about any particular religion either. It
right,
could be the individual who's in charge of doing the preaching that
yeah,
is doing that technique.
right.
So,
And that just pushes away more. I feel like
yeah, I mean, you can't sustain fear. I mean, I think that's punishment.
hmm
And I mean, in one of the Bible classes I went to, I was a young mother and I went to a Bible class, and all they talked about is accepting Christ and then you get to go to heaven. And I said, well, how
hmm
about right now? I mean,
right.
can I have fun right now? I mean,
Well,
why
that
do
was
I,
always the same lesson too. Like, okay, I've done that. What's next? You know?
why can't we just have fun right now? Just being
Yeah,
ourselves, right? We're
right.
not bad.
Yeah,
Folks, are you okay out there? Are you liking this conversation? I
I
don't
hope
know.
so.
I hope so. You're
Yeah,
hanging in there with us. Thank you for joining and staying with us.
yeah.
Um, so, you know, so anyway, the impact that I had when I married your dad was life changing for me.
Mhm.
A- and I had to um really kind of grow up. Um and also, I mean, it's not because he said it. It's
Right.
because he was who he was, and I mean, when we first did our first show, when we did our first show, it was in the living room of our house on West St. Paul. And I was
Mhm.
on this table from my mom, and I had the phone like this or like
Yeah.
this. And and then it was like I was doing this and I was reading from the phone, the text
Yeah.
messages. And that was our show, and I think we did this, oh, I don't know, until he said, "I think we need to get a computer." Okay, so we
That's
did it
crazy
on.
for him to even say.
I know, and, and so where am I going with this? I think what happened is, like, I started to, "Oh my gosh, that is wonderful, I love that idea." I mean, he, just what he read for other people was inspiring to me.
Mhm.
um, and the fact that he would not only talk about their situation, he would maybe go travel to the house that they lived in a while ago. And
Yep, you've done that.
I remember one time, we had a new couple in, and it was a couple from Mississippi, and they were having she felt ghosts in the house, or she called them ghosts. And the reading became quite, um, it kind of took up the show quite a bit because there was so much going on, and he was helping them. I'm not even sure what the message was. She had to. There was a tree. I mean, he explained the house.
Mhm.
He described the house. He described the tree in front of the house. He described the porch. Um, and we saw them later on one of those shows. I think it was like in Discovery, or I'm not really even sure. It was a little while back, but they're the couple was talking about their haunted house, that their dog, their pit bull, was afraid of the house,
Mm.
things like that. And they did have some work done with uh, a psychic medium locally to help them get through it and do the right thing.
Mhm.
So yeah. So it's crazy who comes on the show, and you might see him on TV later. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Oh,
Kathy,
that's
here's Kathy says she was raised a Catholic at a very young age. She felt that must that most of the fear-based teachings never felt right. Yeah.
no, and it never does. It's the same as your parents yelling at you, like,
Hmm.
you got to do this, you got to do that. Well, it doesn't feel good, and then you feel like you did something bad too by
It's like
not following the message.
it's like punishment in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, then you get to stand in the corner or something.
Right.
If you want to go to heaven, you must do this. You must.
Mhm.
But I felt like, as far as children are concerned, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's a necessary, being saved, I don't think is a necessary thing. I think we're all pretty wonderful beings, and
Right.
all we have to do is like let it go and to just work on our own spiritual journey. I
Mhm.
mean, and from the books I've read, from the shows that I've been watching, I feel like I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
Um, Knowing your dad makes me feel like I'm on the right track,
Yeah, you
and meeting
and it's
others
the
as well.
same general idea, as everybody else, because like for me, I don't know that I believe in heaven and hell and all that, but I
Mhm,
do believe, and I there's something bigger than me. There's clearly something bigger than me.
mhm,
But I feel differently, taking the whole religion aspect out of things. And I talked about energy and that before.
right.
It just things raise the vibration, what you put out. You're going to benefit yourself as well because the laws of manifestation and things like that. the better you feel, it's the same as putting your own self confidence out there. You feel better and you attract more positivity to your life. As
Absolutely.
long as you open your mind and accept and
S-
just relax over everything. Just relax, people. It's, it's
Relax, chill
all
out.
okay.
And
Yeah.
you can relax by meditation.
Hmm.
We went to a beautiful store, didn't we, while you were
Oh,
visiting us?
that
Did you
was
like
such a
that
cool
place?
place. Yeah, I could get lost in there.
Right. And so we hope to go back there and
Yeah.
together next time you visit. And I think there's something we should do together.
Hmm.
And so folks, I used to do a lot of prayer, but now I've kind of moved to meditation. And
Right.
I moved to also checking in with my angels. And when that happens, I feel like I feel like I get a clear communication.
Hmm.
And I did, in fact, the lady who was at that store helped me with an angelic clearing, Maria.
Okay.
And it was touching upon my chakras.
Hmm.
And I actually could see that my crown chakra was opening. And
Okay.
I heard messages from peop something. I
Hmm.
was hearing messages.
Hmm.
Very short, not complicated, just short, and it wasn't from me, and I
Right.
it was emotional, it was wonderful, and it was a validation that I was on the right track and that I'm
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. No, and that is when you get a message like that too, or when you get a feeling, it's confirmation. You're doing right. You're doing the right thing, and there's things like for me, if I go outside and I see my cardinal, on the driveway or eagles fly by, deer, I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path. I have my certain animals that do speak to me.
Yeah, you have spirit
Yeah,
animals,
yeah,
don't you?
yep. And
There's
they
that
communicate.
too that you believe in. You kind of were drawn to those things that we were
Yeah.
going around in
Did you
that
get
chat.
that book?
I haven't yet. Um,
Right.
I haven't
That
been
was a
able to get
cool
out of the
book.
house. I've been busy, except for the gig. But I think that's what I might do tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, Holly, good to see you. And you're not too late. And we have Maria Rogers' daughter here, who
Hello.
and Roger's off doing something else right now, but he wanted us to continue with the show tonight and just talk about anything anybody wanted to talk about. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where we've been going. Um, just kind of chatting about, I don't know, everything
Yeah. All of
from.
it.
hmm we talked a little bit about relationships and talked about that and talked about what Roger is like when he's not on the show a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and but I'm kind of just at a good spot right now.
Yeah.
Actually, at a good spot. I
Yeah.
feel good about, and being retired helps a lot. I don't have to worry about other things. It's good too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if folks, do you have any questions? I'm going to look at my notes for a moment, see what I had written down when
Yeah.
we were talking. How's that? Um, I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, I don't know either. Like I said, my experiences have been with him. Like
Okay.
I said, you've seen things happen just in public, random, and you never know when, and you never
Mhm.
know what. And it's pretty cool. But uh, and that has been, well, I'm 40, I'm almost 46, so he's had the gift for 20 years. So my adult life, um, it's nothing new when I see this with him. Basically, I'm used to it, and even as he was growing and learning, it wasn't anything I had to accept. It seemed natural,
It
just
seemed like it was already there. It's like
yeah,
you already knew it was there.
yeah, yeah, and it was okay. Well, my dad does this now. He plays a guitar. He plays this. Like okay, he does this, and it was just such a natural like transition into. him doing readings and things like that, me being present and learning. Like, he can't have noise and this and that and the things that he likes and he needs before and even after because it drains him. And I know, like, after you got to go, it just most of the time he has to go because he's tired after doing readings and that. So just
Mhm.
when things like that happen, it's just second nature, no big deal.
So Kathy's asking, what book did you get that the meaning of the turtle from? It was that book. That was the book that I
Well, I
don't
didn't
remember
look
the
it
name
up.
of it. Do you
Let's
happen to
see.
know what the book is?
No, I'm going to Google it right now.
Okay. I'm going to buy that book, Kathy, and if you're here on Saturday, if we can't figure it out, I'll make sure you know, okay?
It was like the Bible of spirit animals. It
It
had
was
everything.
it was pretty comprehensive, but if I
Yep.
remember, it had native it was a native one, wasn't it?
Yep, it was. I think I found it here. Is it Animal Spirit Guides, an easy to use handbook for identifying and understanding your power animals and animal spirit helpers? Yeah, 455 pages. That would be it. It was a real thick book.
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean, we are talking about animals that you wouldn't think they would even be bringing up, but
yeah,
it is pretty cool, and I'm going to buy it if they
yep,
still have it. I hope they still have it, but
yeah. No,
um,
it was a real good book.
it's one of those things that you look at and you say, "Oh, this is so cool," and then you don't buy it and you think about it all the time.
Yeah,
So
you
you should
did.
have
You
bought it.
talked about it later that day.
You should have just
Oh,
bought it. Yeah.
yeah.
Instead of just, talking. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So, the other thing that kind of we were talking about this earlier today, I'm missing it. Um, did I talk about what it looks like when spirit is showing up when he has? I don't think I did.
Oh, no, no, not really. I just mentioned how we've seen him do it in public, like when he gets quiet and he's taking it all in.
Well, so when folks, I'm just going to give you a little. I asked Roger one day. I said, "What do you see when the spirits are starting to, as you say, gather or, get, I don't know, and warmed up isn't the word, but they start to appear." And he told me this, and he said, I'm on stage looking through the stage curtain to the audience, and the
Hmm.
spirits are in the seats in the audience, and they're waiting for the show to begin. And then they start to when the people are talking like we talk on the show, or you come up, that's when they start to sort of pester him. Some of them don't leave him alone, and they get
Yeah.
sort of impatient with him, and they go, "I want to, tell him this, tell him that." So he's got to keep them in line. um and so he's looking at the audience of spirit. He knows they're collecting out there.
Hmm.
Isn't that And I found that to be so very much, very descriptive, and it's video. I mean, so I don't even know how to um, define what kind of psychic medium he is to other people.
Right.
I can't find it. It's like he can see the spirit. He can hear the spirit. He can feel the spirit.
Hmm.
Um, he can travel in the mind's eye.
Oh yeah.
He can he also, here's one that I need to share. He also channeled somebody quite by his surprise in front of me.
Hmm.
And it was when we were first married, and my sister wanted to have Roger come and join the family at a gathering at her house. And she kind of wanted people to know what he did, tell you the truth. Um, so Roger in his true form, my sister was first, and he's coming up with names of people that she was going with, and then he like I've told everyone, he didn't know my family. He doesn't know my
Right.
extended family. He doesn't know any names. Wasn't with me. So he's coming up with a name, and it's Lila. That's my cousin Lila. And he goes, "This is odd. This is odd. Uh, you and Lila were dating the same guy in high school." and, and she said yes. And well, he's passed. Has he passed? He's like I'm mimicking him. Yes.
Hmm.
Well, he says hello to both of you. Please tell Lila hello from him. Because he also explained to him that was back in the early 60s. He had a Letterman's sweater with
Right.
a letter on his pocket. The
Hmm.
other thing, then all of a sudden he starts going, I'm hearing something from I'm hearing it's an M word, and it's Mike. And Mike. That's my sister's former or husband who died.
Hmm.
And he's explaining the feeling. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I left you. I'm sorry. And she goes, I understand. I understand. And she's crying. And all of a sudden, he said, I'm seeing sand. I don't understand this. And he's starting to cry. Roger, your dad, is starting to
Hmm.
cry. And Linda says, I understand, Michael. It's okay. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. And he says, thank you, while he's touching the sand. Thank you for all that you did. And and he's crying, and Linda's crying, and I'm crying. And I said, Roger, are you okay? Because he had such a strange look about him. Well, he came out of it, and he says, what happened? I said, you were Mike. You were
Hmm.
Mike. And he said, well, what was I saying? And so Linda explained to him that they had a place in Maui, and when he died, Linda had Mike's ashes, and
Mm.
she had a service on the beach, and she also hired a boat to bring his ashes out in front of the condo, to pour his ashes in front of the
That's
condo.
cool. Yeah.
And she's crying as she's saying it, and so everybody in the house, they all love all my nieces love your dad.
Hmm.
They just can't wait to see him again. They wanna have him come up. So, anyway, I just had to explain that he also can channel people. It isn't his favorite thing to do
Yeah.
because it
It's
gets
really
him into
draining on him.
too deep.
Yeah.
I can't believe what time it is. I
I
can't
know.
believe we've talked this much without your dad.
That's right.
He hasn't interrupted me, which is
That's
kind of funny
great.
and
I know.
unbelievable, right?
Even the boys are behaving down by your feet, I bet,
I know
huh?
they're not bothering us at all. And hi,
Great.
Rob. Good to see you. I'm glad you joined us.
Hello.
Rob comes to us from another across the pond, and I think is it Belgium or Holland? I can't remember which. I apologize, Rob. I'm so sorry.
Cool.
Let us know. But we're
Yeah.
about to go, and I promise you, please join us again this Saturday morning at for this mugs for you.
Yeah.
It starts 10:30 a.m. Central Time, 11:30 Eastern Time. It's on the same channel here, and we love that you have come and you've dealt with me, and Maria's beautiful and lovely as always, and we got to know Maria a little more, and we're excited about her participating in any time she wants to. And we always appreciate the viewers that come in and have something to say and visit and continue to be our friends. So thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for staying
Yeah.
with me tonight.
Thank
Um,
you, everybody.
and we are going to go, and um, I guess there's Lisa. Been busy. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's okay, honey. We do you can watch it if you want to on YouTube if or Facebook. And
Oh,
did you enjoy it, Polly? Oh, I'm glad you did. You know, it's good. It's all good.
good. Yeah.
And so, as we always say every day, every show, and this saying comes from one of the readings that Roger had years ago,
Hmm.
with a couple, and it came in a reading, and it just to make sure that everybody just it's our theme, and it's true, and that's what Roger also came back with, and I'm going to try to find it right now.
Well, it really is. I mean, honestly, when you get down to it, it's kind of the underlying message of everything.
It is. Without it, it doesn't I mean, without life really doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't, no, I mean, if you
I mean,
didn't have love, what could you have?
I know. I mean, it is everything. It is life. If we, when I walk around, I know that I have love and I
Hmm.
give love, and it, and when you do that, love comes to you.
It
So,
absolutely does. And you feel good, like that day, what, last Sunday when we were at the American Legion, and that lady walked by outside, and I could just tell she was really,
oh
really upset, and
yes,
I just grabbed her. I said, "Come here. If nobody else loves you," I gave her a big hug. I said, "If nobody else has told you that they love you lately, I love you, and it's gonna be okay." And she just broke down crying, but I could tell she needed it. And I just held her tighter. I held her for a long time, and she felt really good afterwards. And I felt good too.
well,
I knew
and
she needed it. You could tell she needed it.
see, you are a reader. Um, you were reading something.
Yeah,
Um,
I just felt it.
I'm going to put Kathy's up. That's beautiful. And so we're going to say together,
Yeah,
thank you for joining us and thank you for being with us. And we hope you join us soon again on Saturday. Um, take care, everybody. Remember,
yeah.
love everyone you can on this earth. Why? Because
Because love is
love is
life,
life and
and
life
life is
is
love.
love. I hope we said
Yeah,
it together. Thank you,
close enough.
Maria, for helping me and being here and supporting us and being a part of our lives.
Yeah, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Take care. See you guys soon.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye.